Hi everyone, welcome back to Mathemagic. Today we're going to do two-digit basic division, all right? So before we start, you need to know that this inside over here is always known as the dividend. And this on the outside is known as the divisor, all right? So it's just like the dividend is always the total number that you have. So for example, you have 24 candies and you want to divide them by 3 friends. So how many candies does each friend get? If I have 3 friends and I have a total of 24 candies, how do I divide it? So usually what we do is we try to see if 3 times this number here fits in, but nothing fits in. So we look at these two numbers as a whole. So we look at what times 3 gives me 24. So we all know that 3 times 8 gives me 24. Now let's look at number 2. So same way, imagine we have 63 candies and we're going to divide it by 7 friends. So 63 here is the divisor and 7 here is the dividend. So you want to see how many groups of candies can be created for 7 friends. So first of all, let's look. 7 times what gives me 6? It does not fit in. 7 times 1 gives me a 7, which is a much bigger number. So we have to look at both these numbers together. So we do 7 times 9 equals to 63. Okay? Now let's take a look at number 3. Now this one also is 99 of a total, that's dividend, and 9 is the divisor. So we're going to look at how do we do this. So 9 times what gives me 9? 9 times 1 gives me 9. And then you bring this down. And then you do 9 minus 9 is 0, so this doesn't count. And then you bring down this 9 here. So how many 9s gives me a 9? 9 times 1 gives me a 9. And there's no remainder here because the numbers over here are the same. And when the numbers become same, because 9 minus 9 gives me a 0, so there is no remainder. So the answer here is 11. Okay? Now let's try to do number 4. So very simple. All you have to do is look at this number first. Okay? 5 does fit into 8, but how many 5s fit into an 8? Only 1. So 5 1s are 5, and you bring a line here. And then you have to subtract 8 minus 5. You have to subtract 5 from the 8. 8 minus 5 gives me 3, and then I bring down this 5 here. So 5 times what gives me a 35? It does fit in exactly. 5 times 7 gives me a 35. And when you do 35 minus 35, it gives you 0. So there is no remainder. So the actual answer is 17. All right. Now, let's try to do this one right here. So 6 times what gives me a 3? A 0. So there's no answer. So that's why I have to look at 36 as a whole if there's a 0 here. So 6 times what gives me 36? 6 times 6 gives me a 36. It's as simple as that. Okay, now let's do 6. Now again, you have this as the dividend and this as the divisor. So always look at this one first. Do you think 2 can fit into 5? Yes. 2 times 2 fits into 5 as a 4. because it's less than the 5, so you can find out the number. So it's 2 2's gives me 4. Then I'm going to minus. 5 minus 4 gives me 1. Then you bring down this 4 right here. So how many groups of 2 can fit into 14? 7. So 2 times 7. 2 times 7 gives me 14. So the final answer is 27. Okay. Now I would like to give you 10 seconds to do number 7 and see if you know how to do it. Your time starts now. All right. So let's take a look over here. Now, 2 is very small. It's smaller than 4. So 4 zeros will give me a 0, because if I do 4 ones, I'll bring down a 4 here, and then what happens? Then 2 minus 4, and that becomes a negative number, which you can't really do. However, then if it does not fit inside the 2, you have to look at the number together as a whole. So you have to see how many 4's fit into a 28. So we all know 4 times 7 is 28. So that's pretty easy. As 4 7's are 28, the answer is 7. Finally, let's try to do number 8. Okay, so again, let's look at this number first. 8 ones are 8. Now it does not fit. This answer will give me a 0. So we just have to look at both together as a whole. So we look at 40. So how many 8's fit into a 40? 5. 8 5's are 40. And so your final answer here is 5. I hope this was nice and clear. Please feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. Bye-bye. Take care.